The bright lights of Las Vegas shone like a dream. The buildings sparkled with colors: blue, red, green, pink. People from all over the world came to the city full of fun and games. Right in the middle of the Las Vegas Strip stood a big, fancy building called the Sapphire Palace. It wasn't a real palace, but it looked like one. It had shiny gold doors, big red carpets, and tall windows that sparkled like diamonds. That night, something special was happening inside the Sapphire Palace. It was a big party and boxing event called Punches for Patriots. This was a special show to help raise money for soldiers who had been hurt while serving their country. Everyone in the ballroom was dressed in fancy clothes. Men wore black suits and shiny shoes. Women wore long, sparkly dresses. Big, pretty chandeliers hung from the ceiling, glowing softly and making everything look magical. In the middle of the big room was a boxing ring. That's a square area where two fighters get in and try to punch each other, but only in a safe way, with gloves and rules. The ring had red ropes and bright lights shining down on it. People sat all around the ring, cheering and clapping. There were many boxing matches that night. Young fighters, strong and fast, stepped into the ring to show their skills. But there was one person in the crowd that everyone was super excited to see. His name was Jason Statham. Jason was not a boxer tonight, but a special guest. He was very famous all over the world because he starred in action movies. You know the kind, where cars go fast, people do karate, and the hero never gives up. That was Jason. He had played lots of tough guys in the movies. But guess what? In real life, Jason was tough too. He had trained in real fighting, not just pretend. He knew how to kick, punch, and wrestle, not just for the cameras, but for real. Jason was 45 years old. He had short hair, strong arms, and eyes that looked serious but kind. He wore a cool black suit and sat quietly in the front row, clapping for the boxers. He didn't yell or show off. He smiled, took pictures with fans, and talked gently with some veterans who had come to watch. Even in a room full of sparkles and loud music, Jason was different. He didn't need to shout to get attention. He was calm, but you could tell, this guy was powerful. Now, the biggest match of the night was about to start. Everyone was excited. The music got louder, and the announcer shouted, "Coming to the ring, the undefeated champ, Trey Flash Morgan." The crowd cheered like crazy. Trey was 25 years old and already super famous. He had never lost a fight. He had won 15 times, and each time he knocked out his opponent. That means he hit so hard the other fighter couldn't get up. Tonight, Trey wore a shiny robe that said Flash on the back in silver letters. Fireworks went off as he walked to the ring, and his own rap song played over the speakers. Boom, boom, boom. He smiled big and waved to everyone like a king. The match started, and Trey was fast, really fast. In the second round, he threw a big left punch, BM, and his opponent fell to the mat. The crowd stood up and screamed, "Flash! Flash! Flash!" Trey walked around the ring with his arms up, soaking in the cheers. He grabbed a microphone to talk. "Thank you to my team," he said. "Thank you to my fans. And get ready, 'cause I'm gonna be the world champ soon." People clapped and smiled, but then Trey looked into the crowd and saw Jason Statham sitting right in front. He grinned a sneaky grin. "Wait, wait, wait," Trey said, pointing at Jason. "Hold up. Is that who I think it is? The big action star? Mr. Tough Guy?" The crowd got quiet, watching closely. "Yo, Jason. I see you out there looking cool in your suit. But this ain't a movie, bro. This is the real thing. You ever get in a ring like this? 'Cause if you do, I'd light you up faster than a stunt double." The crowd gasped. Then people started laughing, cheering, clapping, whistling. Trey was teasing Jason in front of everyone. Trey kept going. "Stick to the fake punches, movie man. Real fists. That's my world. This is Flash territory." Some people in the crowd shouted, "Oh," like in a schoolyard when someone gets roasted. Everyone turned to see how Jason would react. Jason didn't yell. He didn't laugh. He didn't even smile. He just gave a small nod. His jaw tightened. His eyes narrowed. There was a fire behind his calm face now. People near him could tell Jason was not happy. You see, Jason had trained hard for years. He had fought real people in gyms, learned how to fall, how to strike, how to protect himself. He respected fighters. And Trey had just made fun of all that. This wasn't just a joke. It was a challenge. And Jason Statham didn't walk away from a challenge. Backstage, a man named Silvio Cashman was watching everything. Silvio was the boss of the whole event. He wore a purple suit and gold rings, and he loved big shows. He saw how the crowd got excited when Trey teased Jason. And he had an idea. Silvio rushed over to Jason during a break. Jason, my man, did you feel that? That moment was gold. Jason looked at him. Silvio smiled wide. What if, just what if, you got in the ring tonight? Not for a real fight, of course. Just one round. No winner, no loser. Just a little sparring, you know? A fun moment for the fans. For the veterans. Jason stared at Silvio. His voice was low and serious. If I get in there, he said, I'm not pretending. Silvio blinked. Then he smiled even bigger. He knew this was going to be huge. The news spread like wildfire. Jason Statham versus Trey Flash Morgan. 1 round. Live tonight. People grabbed their phones. They started recording. They posted on the internet. Hashtag Jason vs. Flash was already trending. In the locker rooms, Trey laced up his gloves and grinned. Old man wants to dance, huh? He said to his coach. Let's give him a taste. Jason, meanwhile, changed into training gear, simple black shorts and a t-shirt. No music, no show, no flashing lights. Just focus. The crowd buzzed with excitement as both men stepped into the ring. The bell rang. Ding. And the 1-round sparring match began. Trey bounced on his feet, throwing light jabs. He smiled and waved to the crowd. Come on, movie star. Jason didn't speak. He moved slowly, carefully, watching, measuring. Then whoosh, he stepped in and threw a quick punch. It didn't hit hard, but it was fast. Too fast for Trey to block. The crowd gasped. Trey's grin slipped. Jason moved again, ducking, weaving, sliding left, right, throwing clean, sharp punches. He wasn't playing. He wasn't acting. He was fighting. Trey tried to hit back. Boom. Boom. But Jason blocked them easily. His eyes never left Trey's. His body was calm, strong, like a panther ready to pounce. 30 seconds passed. Then a minute. Now Trey looked serious. He was breathing harder. Jason moved forward. 1 punch. 2. Trey backed up. Jason wasn't showing off. He was just better. The bell rang again. Ding. The crowd jumped to their feet. People were screaming, clapping, laughing with joy. Trey stepped back, surprised. He held out his glove. Respect, man, he said, a little breathless. You're the real deal. Jason nodded, bumping gloves with him. No words needed. Later that night, videos of the match spread across the internet. Everyone was talking about it. Jason still has it. Flash just got schooled. What a night for the vets. But the best part? The charity raised more money than ever before. Because of Jason and Trey's surprise match, millions of people watched. Donations poured in from all over the world. And somewhere in the quiet back halls of the Sapphire Palace, Jason Statham sat alone, sipping water, calm again. He didn't fight for fame. He fought for respect. And tonight, he earned even more of it. Silvio laughed because he thought it was just a joke. He didn't know Trey was serious. But Silvio was excited. He started making plans quickly. He imagined big newspaper stories and videos all over the internet. He dreamed of being famous for putting this event together. Trey had just won a match, so he was feeling proud and strong. When Silvio told him the idea, Trey didn't even think twice. He smiled and said, "A movie guy wants to box me? I'll teach him a lesson." His friends laughed and cheered, already talking about how cool it would look on social media. Trey's trainer, a tough old coach from Detroit named Coach Roy, didn't like the idea. He shook his head and said, "Boy, Jason Statham is no joke. I've seen him move. Don't play around." But Trey didn't listen. He rolled his eyes and laughed. "Relax, coach," Trey said. I'll tap him a bit and pose for the cameras. Finally, the big night came. There was a fancy event happening, and people were dressed up. Then the MC, the person who talks to the crowd, said something surprising into the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, "for one round only, a special match. A sparring show just for fun. Our VIP guest Jason Statham will go against Trey Blawan Morgan." The crowd went wild. People clapped and screamed. Phones lit up as everyone started recording the moment. They couldn't believe it. Jason Statham, the movie star, was going to fight.
Jason came out from the shadow.
He didn't make a big entrance. He didn't act like a star. He was just wearing black shorts, a plain gray t-shirt, and a borrowed pair of gloves. He walked calmly into the boxing ring. He moved smoothly, like a panther. His eyes were locked on Trey, who was jumping around and showing off like it was a big championship fight. The referee, a man who had seen many matches before, came up and explained the rules. 1 round only. 3 minutes. Light punches.
Knockout.
Trey smirked and leaned in close to Jason. He whispered, "Don't worry, VIP. I'll keep it cute." He was still joking around, smiling, thinking this would be easy. Jason didn't say a word. He didn't smile. He didn't laugh. He just stared. He was totally focused, like a lion before a hunt. The bell rang.
Ding. Trey came bouncing out.
He threw a few quick jabs, light punches, not very hard. He was showing off, smiling, and making funny faces for the cameras. "Come on, action star. Show me what you got," he joked. He even tapped Jason gently on the shoulder. The crowd laughed. Everyone thought it was just for fun. But Trey made a big mistake. He dropped his hands. He left his face open. He thought Jason wouldn't hit back hard. He was wrong. Suddenly, Jason moved. Pow! Jason threw a fast, sharp punch right at Trey's face. Trey's head snapped back. The crowd gasped. Boom! Jason followed with another punch, a right cross that hit Trey right on the jaw. Trey stumbled backward, his eyes wide in shock. This isn't part of the show, he thought. Jason didn't stop. He stepped forward. Smack! A punch to Trey's side, right into his ribs. Trey couldn't breathe for a moment. He bent over, his face in pain. Jason wasn't punching as hard as he could. He was careful, but his punches still hurt. They carried a message: don't play around with boxing. Respect the sport. Trey, now upset, tried to fight back. He threw a wild punch. Whoosh! It missed. Jason ducked easily. He moved like water. His body twisted and bent like he had done this a million times. Then Jason countered. That means he punched back, fast and smart. Pow! A jab. Wham! A cross. Boom! Auk! 3 punches in a row. They pushed Trey back into the ropes. His legs felt weak. He was dizzy. His proud face now looked scared. The crowd went crazy. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. The referee watched closely. He was ready to stop the match. But Jason stopped himself. He backed off. Jason looked Trey in the eyes and said in a quiet voice, "Respect the craft." Then ding! The bell rang again. The round was over. The room exploded with cheers. Everyone stood up and clapped. Phones were still recording. The moment was already going viral online. People started calling it the VIP takedown. Trey was breathing hard. He couldn't look at Jason. He walked out of the ring quietly. His friends weren't laughing anymore. Backstage, Coach Roy came up to him. "Told you," the coach said. "That man is real. Learn from this."
Trey satin à chair, feeling à chamed.
His head was down. He thought about everything that happened. He realized he had been too proud. He thought it was a game. But Jason had taught him a big lesson. For the first time, Trey started to think deeply about his future. He wondered if he had been doing things wrong. A small seed of humility, being humble, began to grow in his heart. Jason, meanwhile, was back in his seat. He shook hands with other boxers and coaches. They looked at him with new respect. Silvio, the man who set up the match, tried to talk Jason into doing it again.
Let us do a sequel.
Silvio said. But Jason shook his head. The kid has potential, he said. He just needs to grow up. That night, the charity event raised more money than ever before for veterans. But all anyone could talk about was the match. The crowd would remember it forever. A movie star had shown he wasn't just pretending. He was the real deal. And he had humbled a young hotshot in just 3 minutes. Months passed. Trey was back in Detroit. He trained in a rough gym with no fancy stuff. He wore simple clothes now. No shiny chains or sunglasses. He didn't show off. He listened carefully to Coach Roy. He practiced the basics. He worked hard every day. Before his next fight, reporters asked him about the night with Jason. Trey paused. He gave a small, respectful smile. "Statham showed me what's up," he said. "You don't disrespect a man who's earned his place. I'm still going for that championship belt, but now I'm doing it with respect." The crowd watching the interview loved it. People in the USA love a good comeback story. They cheered loudly. They were proud of Trey for learning and changing. Far away in Los Angeles, Jason was out for his morning run. He saw the interview on his phone. He smiled, just a little. Then he kept running. He didn't need more attention. He didn't care about headlines. He had already done what he came to do. He had taught a lesson.
Acquier, powerful leçon.
One that would last a lifetime. If you enjoyed this story, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing from you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the next thrilling adventure or mysterious twist. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.